Welcome to our kickoff episode of Married to Real Estate podcast.
Hello, Kelly and everybody else.
First off, we've decided to create our own podcast to pull the curtain back and really let everyone see us behind the scenes, like who we really are, where we've been, where we're going, what we really go through, and what makes us tick as a married couple in our thriving real estate business, and really how we stay successful.
And we are doing these every 2 weeks, so you need to make sure that you come back, check out our newest episodes, and check back often because we might do them more than every 2 weeks.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
Now, let's talk a little bit about us. I am Kelly DeMail.
And I am Bruce DeMail, Kelly's husband.
And we want to welcome everybody. We've been in real estate together for about 18 years. And I've been in the industry about 28, but together working about 18 years. And we thought it was maybe time to do a podcast, have a little fun, put a little bit more on our plate.
Like we didn't have enough to do.
Yeah. And when we do these podcasts, we really want to talk about that dynamic about being married and working together. And we want to share information about the industry, what it's like to be spouses who work together and play together.
Yeah. And we're really just going to talk about real life and real estate and how they go together. So as we begin, don't forget to subscribe and like and comment because we want to know where you're watching from. And we'd love to know if you have any questions because we're going to be answering questions in the future podcasts as well.
Awesome. So let's get started with a little bit of background here. The cool part is both of us were born here in the Midwest. So we've got this great work ethic, I believe. We know what we put in is what we get out. So Bruce, you are born and raised right here in Rochester.
I am. It's been, my whole life has been here and I've grown up. I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of people come and go, a lot of expansion in this city. Had a car dealership for 25 years. So made a lot of connections with people during that time, which I just absolutely loved. And it carried over into our real estate business.
Yep. Yeah. I would say you sold that obviously 18 years ago. You sold it in...
Doesn't look like it, does it?
I know. You thought you were going to golf the rest of your life. And I said, heck no.
Okay, we didn't talk about what I was going to do. And then it got sold. And then I said I was going to retire. You said, no way in hell. And so I held out for 6 months. I did get to golf. And then winter came. I got bored. And you wanted me to run your real estate business. So I said, okay.
Yeah, well, your strength really is running the back end of a business. I mean, you owned the dealership, you were the GM, blah, blah, blah. Your numbers guy, very detail-oriented, analytical, and that's really your strong suit. And me, on the other hand, I am very much a salesperson, contact with the clients, the people person. Not that you're not a people person, but...
Good segue there.
Thank you. But you know what I mean? Like, we have our strengths. We just definitely have our unique strengths. And so what a great opportunity. I thought, perfect. You are great at the things I don't love to do. And I'm good at the things that you don't love to do. So it was kind of like this opportunity and the match made in heaven. And we just didn't know how successful it was going to be. And it obviously has turned out to be really, really good.
And it ended up being a great marriage in real estate.
Right. So you had the background of a business owner here in Rochester. You know this town in and out, and you are a super awesome resource for any of our clients, really just wanting to know more about the town and just, again, where it's been and where it is now. And me, on the other hand, I am from Wisconsin. So again, still Midwestern, and I've been in sales my whole life. My real estate career, I said, was about 28 years, and 10 of that was as a mortgage loan officer. So I was helping people get the financing to buy their homes, went through about 2 huge refinance booms, which just kind of burnt me out from doing that. But I didn't want to necessarily give up all of my skills and knowledge and whatnot, being in the industry. So I thought, what a great transition to move over to the other side of that transaction and get my real estate license. So now we fast forward, we've been doing this together for 18 years, and we both have our broker's license, not just our salesperson's license. Although we work for EXP, we don't have our own brokerage, but that's kind of been our transition. And really, again, our unique strengths are, I have more the front end and you have more the back end of the business. And I think it works out great.
I think everybody just noticed that you're the talker, right? And
Totally.
I'm going to have to fight to get a word in edgewise. So I do just want to point out that very subtly, you mentioned earlier on that you were from Wisconsin, which means you're a Packer fan. Some of you may be okay with that. I'm a Packer fan by proxy. So it
Yeah.
is what it
Well,
is.
haters are going to hate, but whatever. We're moving on. I shouldn't say that after this season, but whatever. So really, that was the whole, I guess, impetus for this podcast, was to just get out there, share our dynamic. Not everybody can do what we do. We get the comments definitely from our friends and family and clients that like, wow, can't believe you guys have worked together, for 18 years. I mean, we could never do that with my husband or my wife. So it is a weird dynamic that not everybody can do. Not only do we work together, but we work together from home.
Yeah, look at our backgrounds. I mean, I'm sitting in the office.
And I'm at the dining room table right now. Like, we really do home office, but we can't really sit in the same room because I talk a lot and he doesn't, and we drive each other crazy. But that's for a whole nother episode.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
What sets us apart really personality-wise, that allows us really to have this be successful, is, again, Bruce is very analytical, deep thinker, non-emotional responder. He really just analyzes things, looks at the facts, kind of, takes care of it that way, which I so appreciate, because I'm the other side. I'm the oh my gosh, everything's going wrong. Okay, we gotta, how do we do this? And I'm a little bit more emotional.
Little?
Yeah.
Little?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you do help keep me grounded, which is amazing. I love that. And you are a awesome person to bounce things off of, right? So when I am getting a little like emotion is in there and I'm getting a little riled up over something, you are someone who can just really bring me down to earth and say, okay, let's just break this down. Let's think about it. Let's analyze the whole situation. And we really do work very well that way, and we're good for each other.
You also get me off the fence, with the non-emotion, because a lot of times it's just not there. It's very black and white for me, and you have the ability to introduce the
What the clients are
possibilities
feeling.
of why people are thinking the way that they are, right?
Yeah.
And it's very good for us. I mean, I will say that the time that we have been together in the real estate business, I've grown a lot with my understanding of people and how they are and how they react and how they're going to react and why they don't, why everybody's not like me, right?
Well, and what's interesting, and again, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds with this, because we'll do a whole podcast on really the dynamics of working together, and the good, the bad, the ugly. But it is hard, right? It's hard to understand and know what you do. I might get upset sometimes, like when you're doing what you do, and you get upset sometimes when I do what I do, because we don't always understand the other person's role, which, it takes some time, right? And you have to take a couple steps back and say, okay, they don't walk in my shoes. They're not seeing it from my side. So, you have to have a little bit of patience. And I don't have as much patience as you. So I'm learning as we go. But
I doubt that. When it comes to talking to or with and helping people and having them move through a scenario, whether it be an issue or excitement, you have the patience of a saint.
okay, so maybe it's that I just don't have patience with you.
That's me.
That's probably more so the case.
I
Yeah.
happen to know your buttons, and most people probably don't. So it's easier for me to get you not patient. But hey, let's put this into like a real world perspective for people of what exactly you do and what exactly I do. I'm gonna start so that I can get my part in. I do all of our paperwork. I do all of our back end work, our marketing, the transactional side, taking all of our contracts or all the paperwork from the time that Kelly gets a purchase agreement, either for a buyer or a seller or investor, and take them all the way through and past closing. So I get to come in at the best time, I think, to be able to meet our new friends, our new clients, when they're all really happy, they're excited that they got either their offer accepted or they got an offer on their house. And then I come in looking like the really good guy. I get to meet them when they're super happy and help them through the rest of the process. So for me, that part of it's really easy, and I like that.
Yeah, but you also do all of our marketing too. You do marketing, now with AI, that's super exciting too. You are just deep into that and how that's helping our business. So you really do run a lot of that administrative marketing, lead generation type stuff. And I'm answering the phones. I'm meeting the clients. I'm doing the open houses and the showings and the writing the contracts and the negotiations and all of that stuff. So yeah,
And you love that, and you're so good at it. I mean,
it,
and the thing is, I know I'm not busy unless you are.
yeah.
Except
Well, like I said, we
maybe
both have our
you keep
strengths.
it.
We both are really good at what we do, and that's what makes this machine work. Because if we weren't, there'd probably be some throat punches in our future and parting ways. One of us would be getting a different job. So
If you've
good
ever
that
hung out with us, the verbiage throat punch comes out once in a while.
yeah.
So don't take it as bad on this first podcast if this is the first time that you're hearing it, because it's kind of normal in our world.
Well, let's talk about some exciting milestones for us throughout here our career and give people a little bit more background on us.
Yeah, perfect.
So as we mentioned, we've been working together for 18 years. We have been married for 21 years, and hopefully we make it to 22 here.
We'll see how this podcast goes.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. But one of our I would say our biggest milestone for what we talk about is exciting for us is that we have a daughter, Mackenzie, and this year she will be 28, and she is a real estate agent as well. But she's a commercial real estate agent. And she actually got her real estate license when she was 18 years old and helped us out in the summer times, in between college and whatnot. And she'd come back for the summer and she would make phone calls for us, set appointments for us, and even go on appointments with us, which was really awesome. I mean, she got so good at being on the phone, and which is what I hate. I mean, even though I say I'm a people person, I like to talk to people. I'm not a, just cold
You're
caller.
just not a phone person.
Well, I'm just not a cold caller. I just don't like doing that. And honestly, if there's a salesperson out there that says they do, I'm calling BS. But anyway, at first, obviously, she didn't love it, but she warmed up to it and she got really good at it. And then she goes into college. She goes up to St. Thomas up in St. Paul, and her whole life, right? She's like all about travel and experience the world and whatever. And I'm going to do international sales. And she gets up there in her first year. She calls us one day and is like, Mom, Dad, I think I'm going to change my major. And we're like, okay, what are you going to do? And she says, I'm going to do real estate. And we were both like, what? You already have your license, right? Like you could do that right now. And she's like, no, this is actually through the business school here, and it's a finance degree, but they have a real estate degree, but it's really geared towards commercial real estate and development. So we were like, okay, wow. And we were like, why? Like you have totally been international business. I'm traveling all over. What made you make the move? And I don't know if you remember what she said. But
I do, but you say it so much better.
I say everything so much better because I talk all the time. But she said, I grew up watching you guys have the flexibility. I mean, while you worked hard, you had the flexibility to do your own schedule and to be there for every single one of my sporting events or, whatever, anything I had, you guys were able to make because you had this flexibility and you were able to be super successful in your business. And she goes, and I just really loved that. And I decided that's kind of what I want for myself. So she made the change, which was really cool. And she has been super successful in her own right. She is doing fantastic. She works for a boutique firm up in the Twin Cities area doing industrial commercial sales. So if anybody needs an industrial sales rep or a realtor, let us know. We'll connect.
Even though she's our kid, we every parent says their kids are the best and they pat them on the back. But, I would just say for Mackenzie, her track record speaks for itself, right? Hindsight is 20/20 and it's awesome. In looking back, the ease of her being able to pick up the phone and call and talk to people made a huge difference, I think, in her success in her commercial real estate business. But Also, I'm thinking about this now, and a lot of people look at real estate and real estate agents and, the success of some of them. And they're like, well, that's pretty easy. I should get into real estate. And Mackenzie grew up with it. She grew up with seeing the goods and the bads, the uglies, the behind the scenes, the throat punch moments. Yeah. And she still saw a massive benefit in that. I think she knew from day one that she would be successful. She's always pushed through, and she's not afraid to be a really hard worker. So
Yeah.
she's
So
very
she's been doing
successful
this
in her
since
own.
she graduated. And so what? She's been in it now, I don't know, 6 years, 7 years. And last year she was voted as one of the emerging leaders in the Twin Cities area. So, I mean, she is definitely paving her own way, and we're very proud of her.
Yeah.
So instead of
Yeah.
making this podcast about her, love you,
Yeah.
girl, but moving on, it's about us.
So moving on, let it be my turn.
Okay.
So we patted our daughter on the back. I'm going to pat us on the back. Okay. And some of you guys know this. You may have seen some posts about it, but we moved over to EXP Realty 3 years ago. And since we did that, Kelly and I have ranked number 1 in all of EXP in the state of Minnesota for domestic partners for 3 years in a row. And to us, that's huge. Since we moved, our business has exponentially grown every year. Okay. So there's that. But we were very highly successful and top producers where we were at before. And the nice thing is with the XP, they have a recognition portion that we can tout now. And the second cool thing, and again, I'm into numbers and Kelly's into recognition. So in the United States for those 3 years, 2 of those 3 years, we were in the top 10 in the entire United States for domestic partnerships for EXP. We were in the top 20 one of those years, and that's only due to the fact that we had 4 of our knees replaced in 1 year.
You're showing our age.
I'm showing our age, yeah, but we're rock stars now. We would go back and do it again. But anyway, that took a little bit of recovery time. So we were off from our normal business, right? And so we'll be back up in the top 10, probably top 5 this next year. And it's been a lot of fun to be able to see that and be able to get in the right rooms to collaborate with bigger people and bigger producers and things like that, just because of what we do.
I think that's the cool part about EXP is that they actually have this category for domestic partners. Because again, not everybody can work with their spouse. It doesn't always work so well. What's nice is that you and I working together as a team, there's no way we're going to be able to compete with a 40-person team or a 100-person team. I mean, it's just no way. But we aren't considered a single agent because we work together. So it was really hard. You couldn't compete in the team genre with these bigger teams. So they created this domestic partnership category, which is awesome. And I love it. So thanks, EXP. Love you.
Yeah. So I think that was pretty cool. And we did that together. It's a very, I won't say proud moment. It's been proud 3 years. But looking ahead, our goal has always been to teach and train and continue to have fun at what we're doing. And hopefully you guys have seen that through this podcast, that we're having fun. I think this is a great way for us to just be able to open up to you for who we are, how we talk, what our relationship is, obviously being married and in real estate and married to real estate. And just like Kelly said in the beginning, pull back the curtain. Also, as we move forward in our future podcasts, it's not just going to be about us. It's not just going to be about real estate. We're going to hit some subjects that we really love, like different food places that we love. Or
like our favorite pizza, our favorite restaurants here, our favorite places for cocktails.
Mexican for Kelly.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And the other cool thing is we'll do things like we'll talk about our bucket list trips, like where we want to go, where we've been, what we did. Did we see, maybe throw some real estate in there? Did we see any cool real estate that, that we want to share with you guys?
Yeah, but we'll also stay focused on the married aspect too. We'll probably have some podcasts where we're interviewing some other domestic partner teams and, see what their challenges are and what drives them. We're going to talk about, again, the dynamic of just working together, whether you're in real estate or just in business together, but you're married. How do you separate that and still keep the excitement in your marriage when you really are together all the time? You're together in your home life, you're together in your business life, and that really is very draining sometimes. So we'll have some future topics on how you can deal with that as well. So.
Also, for those of you that work at home, I'm sure you've all realized the fact that the refrigerator does knock. It knocks and says, I have food, you're hungry, you need to come and feed yourself. And that kind of interrupts some of your day. So, we might get into some of that too.
Hey, what are you saying?
I'm saying it happens to me. I don't know if it happens to you.
Yeah, I know. We get distracted. So we'll be talking about distractions. I guess that's probably
and
what
squirrels and things like that. So,
well, anyway, we just wanted to say thank you guys for joining us on this special introduction episode. We really hope that you stick with us. I think our next podcast, we're going to be covering date night or deal night and how to have that balance of work and personal. And we're going to be doing these every 2 weeks. So please check back often. Again, put your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. Maybe share with us if you're a married couple and some of your stories. We'd love to hear all about that. But subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Follow us on our socials. Yeah. And thanks for watching.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you keep it real.
See you next time.